Hi guys, so I guess you want to know the number one mistake students make when they're studying for exams, right? Well, before I tell you what it is, you have to understand that realizing I was making this mistake and doing something about it was a critical turning point in my academic life. And until that point, I was scraping through each year of university by pure hard work. And I was what you call the typical study harder, not smarter student. And then my luck ran out and I started to fail exams and I had to waste a whole year catching up again. And that was a whole year I had to work in part-time jobs just to get through another year of university. I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong until one day I had, I guess what you'd call an aha moment. And I couldn't believe that I hadn't figured this out before. It was so obvious to me. Now, I don't want to keep you in suspense any longer, so I guess the best way to explain the number one mistake is to use an example that you'll understand straight away. So let's imagine that you want to learn how to play basketball and eventually want to be one of the best players in your college basketball team. So if you want to learn how to play basketball, obviously you don't hit a tennis ball against a wall for 2 hours. You don't do laps in the pool for a few hours as well. You don't throw a football. I mean, a football is a totally different shape to a basketball, so throwing a football is not going to help you very much. And you don't do gymnastics. I always envied those guys that play soccer. When they get a goal, they do a few backflips, but I really don't think that's going to help you learn how to play basketball. Also, you don't learn boxing. Boxing is not going to be very helpful in a basketball game. So my point here is that when you're in the exam, let me ask you a question here. In an exam, have you ever had a question that sounds a bit like this? Please use your highlighter to illustrate all the important points in the following text. Now, you probably realize how ridiculous that sounds, and you've probably never seen an exam question that that sounds like that. And my point here is that most students study by highlighting and underlining their notes, and that's pretty much their whole study plan. And you don't use those skills in the exam. So why do most students study that way? Now, I just want to make a point here. You don't have to be smart to do well in exams. You just have to change the way you think about exams. And if you want to do really well in exams, you have to be good at all the skills involved in doing exams. So this is a very important point. There's certain skills involved in being good at particular sports, and there's also certain skills involved in doing well in exams. Now, the mistake most students make is they just focus on the skills that have absolutely nothing to do with exams. This may be what you're doing, and I guarantee you this is what most students do. They're concentrating on being good at things that won't really help them do really well in exams. Now, the obvious question is, what skills do you have to focus on then? Well, I can tell you it's not highlighting and underlining notes or rewriting textbooks or spending hours in the library daydreaming, which, as I said, is what most students do. So what I did after realizing the huge mistake I was making in the way I studied for exams was to come up with 24 different study skills that were 100% relevant to becoming an A student. And once I identified those 24 study skills and mastered them, just like you have to do in your favorite sport, or if you want to be a really good guitar or piano player, I literally went from failing exams to becoming an A student. And I tell you what, guys, it was that quick. So now that you know what the number one mistake is, then ask yourself the question, are you making this mistake right now? And if you are, you need to do something urgently. Otherwise you'll go through what I went through and end up either failing exams or at the very least getting average or below average results and finding out no one wants to employ you when you eventually graduate. Now, to help you focus on the skills that you'll need to get A's in your exams, I've put together a 6-month course of 24 weekly videos, just like this one that you're watching right now, where I go through the strategy or the philosophy, if you like, of my study system. And once we've nailed the strategy and you know why you're studying in a particular way, then I'm going to show you the actual tactics or how to study. And I'll go through those 24 essential study skills that I mentioned and show you exactly how to incorporate them into a 6-step study system that you can put into practice straight away. Now guys, this is not a random collection of study tips, but this is actually a study system that I use to turn my life around, and which I've taught to thousands of students already through a book that I published a while back, and it was actually even a bestseller in Singapore. So come and join us at How to Study Bootcamp, and I'll take you by the hand and I'll show you exactly what to do if you really want to turn your life around as well. So either go to www.howtostudybootcamp.com, that's if you're watching this video on YouTube or somewhere else, or if you're already watching this on the How to Study Bootcamp website, just click the Get the Course button at the top of the page, and once you join up, you'll immediately receive a link to the first training video, which is actually an overview of the course. You'll then receive a video every week for the next 24 weeks until you finish the course, and don't worry, you can start to put different aspects of the course into practice straight away. So what are you waiting for? Every day you wait could mean you're closer to failing your exams and repeating a year. So I can't wait to see you in boot camp and hear about your incredible success in your exams. So I'll see you real soon, and take care, guys.